Oh, here he is. And finally, some footage of David Lade. He's doing chin-ups. Wait a minute. What? Maybe David has some kind of dysmorphia. Coach Greg, and today's video is on Mr. Aesthetic himself, David Lade. It's right up my alley. It's called Measuring My Body Fat. So in the video, we're gonna find out, how lean is David Lade? Is he single digit body fat? Is he 5%, 10%, 15%? What percent body fat is David Lade? Not only that, I'm drinking my new pre-workout. This one's gonna be in about 3 months, and there's other flavors, but stay tuned for this tropical one. Freaking better than last time. It's unreal. Is David Lade's measurement device accurate or not accurate? We're gonna compare his results to my laser eyes.
Type of vlog today, so if you guys saw some of my last videos, it's all cinematically intensive. There's these blue flares, anamorphic black bars, like all this crazy stuff, so.
Really don't care, just wanna know what your body fat percentage is. Not really worried about the it's over my head.
This scale will look pretty familiar to you because I've promoted it a few times up to this point, and the same company has upgraded their scale to this one. This one basically is tracked with an app.
That's amazing. So we go from one form of body fat testing that's not accurate at all to a newer, updated version that's still not accurate, but it has an app so it can continuously tell you how inaccurate it is.
So for the most consistent results, I'd suggest weighing yourself every morning before you've eaten any food. So since that is me right now, let's test it out. We're gonna open the app.
And I do agree with David that the best time to weigh yourself is in the morning before you eat. It's the most consistent you're going to be. Of course, you're going to have daily weight fluctuations, but if you weigh yourself at the same time every day in the morning before you eat, the results are going to be more accurate than randomly weighing yourself at any time during the day. Another important thing to realize is you can't just weigh yourself once a week to track if you're gaining weight or losing weight. On a week-to-week basis, the scale could be up or down despite the fact that you may or may not be losing body fat.
My body mass index is 25, body fat percentage is 13.3%, which honestly sounds extremely accurate. And
imagine if a scale could be this accurate. You just stand on it, 13.3%, and it can tell the difference between visceral or subcutaneous body fat. Even the DEXA scan's not accurate. Do you really think you can stand on this scale and it's going to give you an accurate percentage of your body fat? Of course not.
Skeletal muscle mass, it even tells you, your protein percentage in your body, or like how much protein you have in you, which is very useful. And
well, that's fantastic. It even tells you how much muscle mass you have, and your BMR. It tells you how much calories you're burning doing nothing, even though it's impossible to calculate that. And I'm not saying not to get this scale. In fact, get the scale. There's nothing wrong with having a guess, but don't rely on the scale as being 100% accurate. It's just not possible. Not even the DEXA scan can be that accurate. So if a DEXA scan can't be accurate, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. What are the chances that this scale that's 50% off is going to give you accurate information?
So yeah, just to break it down more specifically, what PRP is, which is the treatment that I'm most excited about getting, is they take the blood and then they spin it in a centrifuge and distill and extract out just pure, rich, vibrant red blood cells. And then they take that and then they re-inject it in the area of your body that is damaged and needs healing. And then it just does like miraculous levels of healing, right? So for me, I'd need some of that in my shoulder.
And David, sorry to tell you, but the PRP probably not going to do that much for you. You have a torn labrum. I have 4 torn labrums. It sucks. So I can relate to what you're going through. It does suck. I have pains all the time, but I'm old, you're young. Maybe you can recover from this. And PRP may in fact cause some healing, but if a labrum is torn, it can't just magically repair itself. So picture this. This is your labrum. It gets torn. It can't magically be sewn back together without being sewn back together. So despite the fact that you're using PRP, it can't magically heal something that's torn, that's ripped apart. Think of your labrum as like a rope. If you cut the rope in half, you can't just stick the rope back together. It doesn't work like that. So when I had my labrum repaired, they sewed it back together, but it tore again. So it's not something that can be easily repaired. However, if you do get surgery and they tie it back together, it has been shown to help some people heal faster. So I do suggest you give it a try, but don't get your hopes up and assume that it's some form of magic.
When you get arthritis, which is what I initially had in my facet joints, arthritis is when there's a lot of inflammation, the two joints are rubbing together, and then if that goes untreated, then the joints actually deteriorate and atrophy away.
And what'll happen is you get advanced arthritis like Coach Greg has. And that's inevitable. If you have bone on bone, there's going to be problems in the future. So please be careful in your training, try not to get hurt, and hopefully you can avoid serious injury. And I'm having a hard time using my laser eyes to analyze his body fat percentage because he's wearing a t-shirt the entire time, but I can say I do believe he's lower than 13.3% body fat. I've never in my life seen David Lade at 13.3% body fat or more, so pretty safe to say he's probably leaner than 13.3%. David Lade is moving his arms. You can see the detail in the arms. That alone does not look like 13.3%. And if you see David squatting, he looks very lean. He doesn't have a lot of mass, but he certainly doesn't carry a lot of body fat. So I do believe it's safe to say that he's significantly leaner than 13.3%. Like, just look at him standing like this. Does that look like 13.3%? He's not flexing. He's just speaking and doing this, but he seems to be pretty lean as he's talking like that.
Well, roughly speaking, right?
Yeah.
Girls, they seem to be, from my observation, much more emotional, much more feeling. It's not about the right or the facts, about the situations.
And mind you, I'm watching this on 2x speed, but all I noticed was a lot of going on.
Look at this little D6 move. That's just something, isn't it?
And I like to see just how passionate David is about chess. And just because he's not amazing, he's not a master chess player. He's mediocre, he says, but he has passion for it. And just because you're not amazing at something doesn't mean you can't try to be better, to be the best that you can be. Over the last 4 years, I've moved from being in the D class to the C class and now the B class, and I'm even winning races as a B competitor. Not bad, getting faster than last time. So just because you're not amazing at something doesn't mean you can't get better. Maybe you'll never be a master chess player, but you don't need to be amazing to enjoy something.
It's basically a treadmill desk, right? So you have your treadmill underneath right here. You step on it, and then this table, it adjusts height. Like when you press on it, like see, it's like lowering.
And what a great idea. David is doing a treadmill while doing his work on a slow pace. Why not kill two birds with one stone? One of the keys to being lean is to be more active. And by being more active, it doesn't mean you have to actively be doing crazy cardio. Doing empty stomach, fasted cardio, HIIT cardio, all that stuff. David is doing his work at the computer while being active on a treadmill. We've learned this from others in the past. Marcus Philly comes to mind, 3,700 calories a day while staying shredded. He was riding a bike while doing conference call. Editor Steve, he's often editing these videos, probably on a bike right now editing this, not making this shit up. So why not be more active? You're on the computer, doesn't mean you have to sit there and do nothing. Why not move? I'm probably burning extra calories just doing these videos because I'm sitting up and I'm active, moving around. So rather than being sedentary while doing what you're doing, why not try to be more active during your day? That will help you to be leaner so you can somehow try to be as lean as David Lade. Not that most people can, but 13.3%. Don't think that's the case. Think he's leaner than that.
Eat some food.
Oh, here he is. And finally, some footage of David Lade. He's doing chin-ups. No way is that 13.3%. It's a lot closer to 10% body fat. No way is it 13.3. I'm sure you're all happy to see that this is not 13.3%. It's a lot leaner than that because a lot of people were probably starting to panic thinking, if David is 13.3%, I don't want to know how fat I am. Wait a minute. What? And you're kidding me, 13.3%? This guy's 9% at most. You see in this guy is super lean. He's close to being lean enough to do a competition. So I'm sure everyone is happy to know that this is not what 13.3% looks like. I'm almost surprised that David Lade doesn't say, well, the scale isn't really accurate. Here it says I'm 13.3%. Everyone knows I'm leaner than that. Maybe David has some kind of dysmorphia, thinking this is 13.3%. Looking like that? Are you kidding me? No wonder he has 1 million followers. Look at the build on this guy. And let's go to the comments section. Everyone knows Dave's never been over 10% body fat in his entire life. Exactly, like the comment. If David is 13% body fat, we are all screwed. Yeah, exactly. I'm with ya. Okay, so hopefully that helps. I'm sure everyone's happy to know David is single-digit body fat, not the 13.3% that the scale reported. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IIP Pro. Please watch one of the boobs, and don't forget, if you hire me for training, I'm gonna give you a body fat assessment. Gonna give you an accurate one, way more accurate than this scale. And don't forget, you can also buy the training book, the cookbook, to help you eat in a deficit, help you to lose the weight, get you the body that you've been hoping for, at least halfway there. And until next time, I am out.